I'd like to move that council move out of in-camera at 6:45 p.m.
I'd like to welcome everyone. Oh, sorry. All in favor? I'd like to welcome everybody back. We are restarting the public portion of our meeting tonight at 6:45 p.m. Council has a motion stemming from a topic discussed during our closed meeting session.
Your Worship, I'd like to move that council appoint Izar Khan to the Strathmore Municipal Library Board for a term of 3 years ending October 31st, 2027.
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, I call the question. All in favor? Okay, now we're going to move forward to 9.
Your Worship.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Your Worship, just saying that we have a couple of public hearings scheduled for 7 p.m. and we're moving a little bit ahead in our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to amend this evening's agenda to move forward 9.3, non-residential municipal tax incentive amendment bylaw, to become the new 4.1. Not really? No, because that's public hearing. Administration, what number would this be? Yeah, moving 9.3 up to now. If everyone understands what that meant. Sorry, the numbering gets a little confusing. You'll get it. Page 233 of your agenda tonight.
Any comments or questions? I call the question. All in favor? Any questions from administration? Okay, I'd like to introduce Jamie for questions from administration. Thank you.
I could just make a brief presentation through the chair. Tonight, staff's presenting an amendment to the non-residential tax incentive bylaw. The proposed amendment was prepared to better support economic growth and encourage increased non-residential investment in the town. A business case originally was prepared in late 2022 to develop a tax incentive bylaw to attract non-residential development and to remain competitive in the region and the province. Legal review led to some refinements, and the bylaw was ultimately then adopted by council. The proposed amendment tonight would remove the eligibility requirement that the applicant provide at least 25 employees on site. This amendment is being proposed to include new businesses in the high-tech and data processing industries that often have few employees on site or have many employees that work from home. The requirement to increase total assessment by at least $10 million and to include at least 2,800 square meters of area on one floor or level would remain. In conclusion, this initiative makes Strathmore attractive to large non-residential developments. The benefits are jobs, tax revenue increased, profile within the province, and major non-residential development is a key pillar of Strathmore's economy as well as council's strategic plan. And I'm available to answer any questions, as is Finance, Leanna from Finance, and Angela Greneveld for Economic Development. Thank you.
Any questions from council? Councillor Wiley, please.
My question is to everyone administration's most comfortable talking about this. So just immediately, I love the idea of increasing the net that will gather in businesses that are incentivized by this. I guess what I'm asking is, what are you hearing on the ground? So this is probably for Angela. When businesses are reaching out to us and they're interested in maybe making Strathmore their home, is this something that's coming up?
Through your worship, through the chair to council, thank you for having me. Yes, this is absolutely, I've just made a few notes here, so I am going to read off of it. This lower threshold opens the incentive to a wider range of businesses, including startup and small business enterprises. And in today's economy, smaller businesses are more likely to hire, are less likely to hire large numbers of staff and versus lower and on contract. So those are the types of businesses that I tracked last year that are coming in, and those are the current ones that we're working with investments. They fit more to what I just read to you of the smaller number of employees.
Councillor Wiley, do you want to complete and then go to Councillor Montgomery?
Yeah, I just have some follow-up questions. No, once again, I'm really optimistic about this. When you say, Angela, that there's businesses that have a small number of employees who are interested, I think people at home go like, why would you want to attract businesses with a small number of employees? But our CAO and administration has done a lot of work in sort of educating council on why it's actually to our benefit to have non-residential tax base that don't also hire a huge number of employees. So I was wondering if either Angela or our CAO could help the people at home with that one.
Sure, maybe I can help with that. So every new house we build is actually a net cost to the municipality. So it's subsidized by the existing property owners. So building houses for businesses located in Strathmore is good. Building houses for businesses not located in Strathmore isn't great because we're not seeing that non-residential revenue. Building houses for or building less houses for businesses locating in Strathmore is even better, right? It's actually it helps the existing taxpayers even more in terms of offsetting the costs of new residential development. So less employees is actually better, is number one. Employees working in Strathmore is number two, and building houses for people that don't work in Strathmore is the least desirable option.
Councillor Montgomery.
I have a motion ready if you're ready. So I will move the council give first reading to bylaw number 25-10, being a bylaw to amend the non-residential municipal tax incentive bylaw number 22-03.
Okay, I'd like to call the question. All in favor? Thank you.
And I will move that council give second reading to bylaw number 25-10, being a bylaw to amend the non-residential municipal tax incentive bylaw number 22-03.
Is there any further discussion? Councillor
Sure,
Wiley.
I do have, I think this is my last question. So again, this is for the people at home. My understanding of the tax incentive is it starts, I believe, at 100% tax incentive, but then shifts its way down. So by the fifth year, I believe, the non-residential taxpayer is going to be back up to the same thing. I just wanted to help people at home understand that it's not like a permanent tax incentive.
Yes, through the chair, it reduces every year for 5 years from 100 down to 0. So by that year 5, conclusion of year 5, they're paying full taxes.
And I will be supporting this motion, and the reason I think so is because when these companies are first putting in their capital investment, it's very useful for them to have a 0% tax, but then they've invested the capital here, so then the likelihood of them staying is obviously very great, and so it is exactly what I think a good tax incentive should be. So I really appreciate our administration bringing this forward.
Any additional discussion? I'd like to call the question. All in favor? Councillor Peterson.
Your Worship, I would move that council give unanimous consent to proceed with third and final reading of bylaw 25-10, being a bylaw to amend the non-residential municipal tax incentive bylaw number 22-03.
I call the question. All in favor? And Councillor Langmaid, please.
Thank you. I'd like to move that council give third reading to bylaw number 25-10, being a bylaw to amend the non-residential municipal tax incentive bylaw number 22-03.
Call the question. All in favor? Do I say carried? Yeah. Carried. Thank you.
Your Worship, if I might ask a question of administration. I know that we have just a little over 5 minutes until our public hearings are scheduled. Should I maybe look at just calling a brief recess for 5 minutes so that we can start those public hearings on time? All right, I'd like to move that we take a brief recess for about 6 minutes until 7 p.m.